So this is from our friends over at trekmovie.com. It's an interesting one. This is
Hmm.
definitely I thought this was pretty big news when I saw this. Okay. Jeri Ryan turned down Captain Seven. Wasn't Star Trek Legacy. Yeah, you guys were saying that was wrong, but that's right. It was Captain Seven, right?
It was Captain Seven, but you said she turned down the Legacy, but
But-
she turned down this one because it wasn't Legacy. Because they
right.
pitched
No,
her a
no,
different.
no. That's right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
Oh,
there was no Legacy pitch. There was like a
right,
Captain Picard spinoff that wasn't Legacy, but it would be
right,
kind of Legacy like or something like that. It's kind of instead of Legacy, it seems.
right.
And
Right.
she said no to it. At least that's literally the entirety of the information I have. What else is there?
Well, it basically says that if it's not Legacy, then she doesn't want to do it.
Did she say why?
I because she had fun with her friends and she didn't want it to
Oh.
be like a standalone thing. She wanted to play with her friends again.
I would also guess it's just her personal loyalty to Terry Matalas, who is her longtime friend,
Oh,
who's also a creative genius. And why would you want
right,
to do a Star Trek show about Captain Seven of Nine? It's already been set up by Terry Matalas, and then not do it with Terry Matalas. It doesn't make any
right,
sense.
right.
Well, I would say, and this is just, me answering that rhetorical question. If she likes her character, Seven of Nine, if she likes Star Trek, if she likes the idea of being a big bad boss, Captain Seven, and she says, let's do it. And they say, okay, but we're not going to do it with Legacy. And then she says, well, that sucks. But then they say, but what do you say about doing it anyway? Captain Seven, not Legacy, but Captain
Mm.
Seven, your own show. Michelle Hurd may be coming back, a few of the others. What do you say to that? I feel like I would have thought that she'd say, you know what? I want to do that. It's not
Yeah.
ideal, but it has most of the elements that I want. It's me, it's my character, it's Star Trek, it's me as a captain. It's continuing on. It's probably got a pretty nice paycheck. The fans want it. So I wonder if it's her playing hardball, saying no, but like hoping that they'll come back and say, okay, fine, we'll have Terry Matalas do it. Or if she
Hmm.
really is just saying, no, Terry, no seven.
Hmm.
What do you guys
I
think?
wonder. Well, I think it would just depend on what they actually pitched to her because they
Yeah.
didn't specify what the pitch was. They just said it was a Captain Seven show, is what the article says. So I guess it would depend on what the pitch was.
Or who pitched it to her?
Right.
It doesn't say who pitched it to her.
It was Johnny in the Facebook group. She was like, no, I'm sorry. He's like, no, I got lights in my garage, microphones.
Who's that Ricky guy?
I
Who's
got a
that
green
Ricky?
curtain. So here's the quote. Let's read her quote here that caused all this stir because my mind is a whir about this. The quote is, yeah, you're right, guys, not the best picture. The quote is, there has been talk, and there was an idea that was actually pitched to me after Picard ended, which was not the legacy show that I know the fans are asking for, that I want to do. But it just wasn't me. It didn't feel like the right kind of thing. But there has been talk. And if there's one thing I've learned with this franchise, it is never say never. You never know. Okay, so this is definitely not, doesn't sound like it's a no to me because I was expecting her to say, but there was talk or there had
Hmm.
been talk. But she's saying there has been talk, making it sound like it's current, like it's still ongoing or still open or not closed. Now, maybe I'm reading too much into this, but if she said there had been talk or there was talk, okay, that means it's in the past. But if she's saying there has been talk, it sounds like it's not yet closed. What do you guys
Yeah.
think? Am I reading too much into that?
No, I think that's a fair assumption.
Hmm. I don't think you ever want to.
Guesstimation.
Yeah, I don't think you ever completely want to close the door on something, right? Because maybe what was pitched to her was a complete departure from what she sees as the character of Seven, or where Seven has
Mhm.
developed at this point, based upon what we saw in Picard, right? So maybe, maybe it's one of those things where whoever pitched it to her has to go back, rework a few things, and then come back and say, okay, but what if we do this? Would this then interest you? So
Mm,
Or maybe it was a pitch that had certain elements to keep Jeri Ryan as 7 of 9, maybe have one or two things uh, to come along with her, but it isn't actually the legacy thing that was set up by Picard season 3. And so it's not enough in terms of what she would want 7 of 9 to be doing. Um, so maybe that's maybe it really is just too much of a departure from
hmm.
what, because she said what the fans are asking for. She's very, very
Right.
aware, and and they're all in agreement that they're all aligned with what the fans are asking for.
Hmm.
So I think there is also a danger of saying, yeah, I'll do it anyway, and but it's not the thing that everybody has A, been asking for, and B, you've also been saying all along you've been asking for.
But
Hmm.
see, then that begs the question, which was kind of where I was going next, which is what could they have pitched that was so far from what, because we know what legacy would theoretically look like. It would be a starship that's not landing
Mhm.
with Captain Seven, First Officer Michelle Hurd, uh, what's his name? Jack Picard as
Hmm.
special counsel guy. And then a handful of maybe, the other people that we're introduced to, maybe, maybe not, right? And maybe Q pops in, maybe he doesn't, whatever. We get it. That's like the bare bones of it, right? A new crew.
Maybe you
So,
threw that out.
right.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, what could the pitch be? What could a Captain Seven pitch be if not that? I can't
She's
think of
captain of a
any.
give it.
starship that isn't the Enterprise. One of the things that might be, and I don't know this, I don't have any details on this, but one of the things that might have been holding back Legacy all along, besides Paramount situation, besides the cost, besides this and that, is the fact that they have a show about the Star Trek Legacy show would be about the Enterprise, and there's already a show about the Enterprise currently on the air, and maybe it's a conflict you can't about having two shows about two different enterprises that could possibly
Yeah, but what if
confuse
they
the
just give her
audience,
a
or
different
dilute the
ship?
brand.
What if
Right.
they
Well,
just give her a
that's what I'm
different?
saying. Maybe they pitched her a different ship, and maybe she's like, "Why? I'm the captain of the Enterprise. It's already been set up."
Right.
Or given this particular era of Star Trek where we like to do things that are quote unquote a little edgier, what if it was not Captain Seven in Starfleet, but Captain Seven as a Fenris Ranger?
So that it
Mm.
would be like a prequel,
Yeah,
right?
Mm.
Mm,
going back and doing
Mhm.
kind of that Section 31-ish, like fast paced Kill Bill
mm,
kind
And I considered that too. That's a possibility, but it's hard to do prequels as people get older. I'm not saying that
Yeah.
she's not aging wonderfully, but it's just,
right.
a fact
right.
of life of like where you're like, well, how far back do we have to go?
Right.
Yeah.
You know? But
Yeah.
yeah, that's 100% possible, Matt.
Hmm.
So
And
Yeah.
maybe
that pitch
she's
would be a relatively cheaper show, just because you wouldn't have all the Picard accoutrements, you wouldn't have the TNG element to it. You could just make up
Right.
all new stuff in the Beta Quadrant wherever the Fenris Rangers were operating.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. And if they're doing these audiobooks and such that play off of what's already been established in Picard and her relationship with Rafi, and maybe we would lose that if in this pitch that she has gotten. And yeah, I don't think you want to lose that connection. You need the people want more Rafi and Seven.
Hmm. Yeah, why go backwards?
Right.
Yeah.
Why go backwards? We do that too often.
Hmm.
Thanks so much for watching that clip. We go live every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern with all the latest Star Trek news
on the virtual TrekCon channel.